Hello and welcome to the NICU Space podcast by Miracle Moon. I'm Dr. Frankie Harrison, a clinical psychologist and NICU parent myself. Through my work as a psychologist and through my own experience of having a baby in neonatal care, I know that the NICU journey can leave a huge emotional impact on parents and families. This podcast is a space where we talk honestly about that experience. We will be exploring the emotional impact of neonatal care, the anxiety, the guilt, the grief, the questions about bonding and identity, the parts of the experience that so many parents carry long after leaving the hospital. Across the series, I'll be speaking with other NICU parents at different stages of their journey, as well as professionals working in the field. We want you to feel seen, understood, and less alone in what you've been through. So whether you are currently sitting beside an incubator, recently home from NICU, years down the line still making sense of it all, or someone supporting a NICU family, you are very welcome here. What you have been through matters, and you do not have to carry it on your own. Before we begin, just a quick note that this podcast is for information and support, but it is not a substitute for individual medical or psychological care. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hello and welcome to the Miracle Moon podcast. Today I am joined by Hayley, who you may know as the SEN and Prem Mum over on Instagram. So today, Hayley shares her experience of having her daughter prematurely due to preeclampsia during COVID, what that time was like for her, about her birth experience and about neonatal care. We then talk about her daughter's autism diagnosis, how she began to notice things, what stood out for her, and what that journey to diagnosis looked like. We also then talk about how that led Hayley to start questioning things for herself, exploring ADHD and autism and what that's been like navigating that diagnosis process as an adult. So a big part of this conversation is about that overlap between neurodivergence and trauma and motherhood. And I know that that is a really sticky, complicated question for so many of us. And we get into how those things can feel really tangled and how hard it can be to make sense of what's what. It's a really open, honest conversation about neurodivergence in motherhood, and I'm really glad that you're here for it. So if you don't already, go give Hayley a follow. And as always, if anything comes up for you while you're listening or you find yourself with questions, you're always welcome to reach out. We're here to support you. So let's get into the episode. Hello. So today we have got Hayley with us. Hello, Hayley. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. I'm good, thank you. I'm really, really excited to talk to you today. And I know we've kind of already talked a little bit about the nerves, which are really normal. But I'm really excited to talk to you today. And I was just kind of saying beforehand that I feel like so many people have that kind of web of trying to figure out what's going on for them, whether it is autism, ADHD, being a mum, the trauma of having gone through the NICU, parenting kids with that neurodivergence, like it's also tangled. And I guess that's something that you've been through yourself, right?
Still doing?
Yeah.
Still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. 100%. So, I mean, can you, in whatever way feels okay, tell us a little bit about that journey into motherhood and that kind of neonatal experience for you? Does that feel okay?
Yeah. We got pregnant during COVID, and
Okay.
so instantly appointments and stuff were completely different to what you hear about. Everything was absolutely fine, and then I went to my 22-week scan, and we had it up Kings, so it was quite an in-depth scan. They did all the blood tests and scans and stuff, and I was in there for ages, and I was on my own because of COVID. Husband was in the waiting room. I couldn't understand a word they were saying because they all had masks on. And then it come up with saying that there was reduced blood flow to placenta and not a lot of fluid around. So they were like, come back in 30 weeks. So went home, didn't think much of it, looked at my notes, and right at the end of the notes it said high risk for preeclampsia, but it didn't actually say preeclampsia. I had to Google the term. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
So then I instantly got in contact with my midwife and was like, oh, what's going on? Like, what does this mean? Reassured me. They do that sometimes. It's fine. Go back at 30 weeks. So carried on as normal. We went to my 27-week midwife appointment, I'd started to get a bit puffy, like around my eyes and feet. Didn't think much of it. I was crying a lot, so I just thought it was because of that.
Yeah.
And then she did the usual checks, did my blood pressure, my urine, and then in her words were "oh," and then
Oh, really?
oh, what again on my own, and I was like, oh god, what's happening? And she's like, I'm gonna have to send you to the hospital. Your blood pressure's super high, and protein was like the most it could be in your urine. I think it's like 4
Oh, wow.
something. So I went home. Funny story as well. My husband was in A&E downstairs because he was having heart palpitations.
No.
So I met him back downstairs and was like, we gotta go. So
Oh,
he knew.
you stop your thing. We need to. I've got my thing now. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Well, we kill two birds. He goes A&E. I go to my midwife appointment. And
Oh
yeah,
my
so I
goodness.
went home, packed a bag. Again, wasn't allowed with Sam because of COVID. Had to go in on my own. I was terrified.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went in and they did the test and said, yep, severe preeclampsia. So
Wow.
I stayed in, I think it was 2 nights. My husband was allowed to come back again in the morning for visit him. And then they couldn't get my blood pressure down. So I had to go to St George's in Tooting, which is about an hour and a half away from where we live. And none of us drove at the time. So my poor mother-in-law
Wow.
was back and forwards constantly. And like in rush hour as well, it was like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It was a crazy journey.
Gosh.
Yeah, so I got transferred there and I put in high dependency unit.
Yep.
And that's where I stayed until like so basically they done lots of different medications for me, trying to get my blood pressure down. It weren't getting down. I was reacting to some of them. So I was like swelling up, burning, like it was horrible. They were doing lots of
Yeah.
scans on Thea to keep an eye on her. And then they basically said it's who can last the longest. So
Oh gosh.
so it's either
God, what a way to put it.
well, yeah, many words that it was that. So
Yeah.
it was who declined. So they were just checking on us both constantly.
Yeah.
And then 29 weeks it was. So one night, it's really, we had McDonald's. Sam's going back to work the next day because obviously life continues. And that night I had really bad headache and then a really bad pain in my chest and in my back. And I picked
Yeah.
to the McDonald's.
Yeah.
And
We've
then
got really similar stories. I had pizza and I was like, maybe this is just really bad, like indigestion from
that's what
the
it's
pizza.
like.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Okay. So we kind of like put it down to the McDonald's and then what happened?
So that night, yeah, I couldn't sleep. Like the worst headache I've ever had in my life. And I kept saying to the nurses, like, please give me something for this headache. Couldn't sleep. And by the morning, I was like in agony, doubled over the bed, backache really bad. And then the midwife came in, and the next thing I know, the buzzer's getting hit. And I had like a rush of medical professionals in the room. And I was like, oh, what's happening? Sam had gone back to work. So luckily, though, he was able to get to me quicker because of the trains instead of getting in the car. So they were like, okay, today's the day. She's got to come out. And I phoned Sam. I was like, come quick, come back. And then the magnesium came at me. Yeah. And I just remember burning up, vomiting. Sam walking back in the room. I'm thinking, oh my God, he's made it. Like, and then I'm whisked down to theatre.
Gosh.
And then, so that wasn't, it all happened so quickly. And obviously you're so poorly, but you don't realise how poorly you are until after it all happens. But it turns out my kidneys were failing, which I didn't know until weeks later, until I read notes again. I didn't get told that's what was happening.
No.
They just whisked me off. Yeah.
How does it feel kind of learning about it afterwards that you were that poorly? Maybe you didn't know.
I've never, like, my husband always says to me, like, you don't realise how ill you were. And I've never thought about me, really. It's always been Fia. Like, Fia was the one fighting for her life, not me. Although probably could have gone a bit bad, but thankfully didn't. I just thought about her and how she always got through it. And
And how was she when she was born?
so she was tiny. She was 855 grams, so around 14 ounces, I think that was. And then obviously she lost weight. Needed CPAP straight away. Obviously she put in a little carrier bag that they put little babies in. And then I remember them showing me her. I'm obviously laying down because if it's an emergency C-section. I remember them bringing the incubator. When she was born, like, we heard a little cry. And we were like, oh, okay, like, that's a good sign. And obviously Sam went over to her, was chatting to her. And then they brought her over to me on the incubator, and I couldn't see her because I was laying down. I was just incubator, but they didn't hold her up. They didn't see her. So, and then I said to Sam, go with her. Don't worry about me. Just go. Like, I'm okay. And then obviously they stitched me up. And then I remember him meeting me back in recovery. He showed me a picture of her. Obviously it was all blurry for me. I didn't cry. Like, I cry at everything. And I didn't cry. I was so...
was it that kind of numb? Numb feeling.
Really numb. And then I got put back in high dependency, and then that's where I was I didn't see her for 38 hours.
Oh, wow. Gosh, that's a long time.
Sam kept showing me videos, like, it kept going in between. So obviously I was trying to express, but couldn't because I had cannulas everywhere, my hands, like, and I was so ill. I just didn't. And that bit there was a bit of a blur, really. Like, I don't actually remember that day after. Like, Sam tells me things, and I'm like, oh, I don't remember that. Like,
no.
And then, so that night, I remember waking up during the night. Sam was asleep on the bed next to me on the floor, that little bed. And then I remember waking up just having this urge, this big rush of love.
Wow.
I need to see her. Like, I need to know she's okay. I need to be her mum. Searching for my phone, and I couldn't see it. And obviously I couldn't move. I didn't want to wake Sam up. I couldn't reach the midwife button. So I just had to lay there until the morning. I know. I was just like, I just need to know that she was okay. So first thing I did, like, obviously, Sam, get down there, go check on her. Like, he was like taking milk back because the floor was all colostrum, but I could get out. So he was torn, bless him. And then it wasn't until that evening that I managed to get out of bed and get down to see her. And then again, I got wheeled down to this incubator with my little baby in there, and you got all the little cocoon, and she looked really comfy, but I was numb still. Like, even though I had that, I couldn't cry. Like, and I was just like, now what do I do? Like, and you're just surrounded by bleeps, and it's weird because the room's so quiet but so loud at the same
100%.
time.
Completely. I feel like in general is just like the extreme ends of both things in everything. Like, it's completely that. And I think there's maybe something there about, like, having a neurodivergent brain as well, of, like, taking in that kind of sensory information because it's such a sensory environment. Completely.
At the time, I didn't know that was who I was. Like, I just was
completely. Totally. So, like, we'll come on to a little bit about, like, diagnosis and how you kind of thought about that later. But if you kind of think back now on that experience, knowing now what you do about your brain and how it works and all of those kinds of things, do you feel like your neurodivergence influenced your experience of birth, neonatal care in any kind of way?
I think control is a big thing. So obviously I have to have a lot of control over my days and, like, to keep regulated, to know what's going to happen. And that obviously got out of my hands drastically. And I just wait, I suppose, and see what happened. And the thing, and you'll know yourself as well, like, in any hospital situation, the communication is terrible. Like,
Yeah.
you get told one thing by one doctor or like consultant, and then another one will come in and they'll change it. So it's all a lot of change as well. So,
Yeah.
but I just tunnel visioned onto her really, and
Okay.
every day was like,
Yeah.
it's another day, another day. Like,
Yeah, completely. And I think I speak to a lot of people who do that part of going, like, sometimes in neonatal care, finding your rhythm, finding the routine, having it being that your baby or babies are your only focus. Sometimes that can be a positive thing
yeah,
for a neurodivergent brain,
yeah.
being able to just being like hyper focus on this.
I say now, like the weirdest thing. It's weird. I don't think anyone else would get it, but I would go back to them days in a heartbeat because it was safe.
You're not alone.
Hello.
You're not alone.
It's
Yeah.
like I don't know what's coming 1 minute to the next in his house now. It's like hurricane all the time.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
completely. There's something oddly safe, but equally, again,
yeah,
not safe. It's like both ends, isn't it, of being in the NICU in that way? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it was there for quite a while as well. So 2 months. Well, not in that hospital. We was there. I think it's about 6 to 7 weeks in the first hospital, and then transferred back to our local after. We were yeah. So the first hospital, I quite like we became a family, I suppose, like in our own little way.
Mm.
And obviously, like, I had our first cuddle. The first cuddle. I remember going down the second time to see her, and again wheelchair down there. And then they said to me, "Oh, do you want to hold her while we change her bed in?" So I jumped on that wheelchair. Like Sam was like, "You'd never known what we've just gone through." Like I jumped, and I was like, "Yes." And I just remember holding her like in my hands, like this, like just a little feather, like
Yeah.
just holding her up, holding myself up, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, while they
Yeah.
put the bed in, and then after a little while later, I was allowed our first cuddle, and that was incredible. Like they just put you into like this weirdest, like you zone out, like you just go sleepy, don't you? I loved it.
Mm. Yeah, completely. It's like that kind of soothing, like co-regulating part, I think, with that, isn't it? What you then kind of you came home, and in terms of your story, so I know, like, so on your Instagram you talk about kind of having that diagnosis for yourself later on in life for kind of autism and ADHD. Did it come first that you then saw it in your daughter
Yeah.
first?
So
Yeah.
kind of, I've always known I've been a bit spicy, a bit different. And my dad actually took me to the doctors when I think it was like early 20s, because I was so angry all the time. Like so
Okay.
angry and worked up and anxious about everything. And they were just like, "Oh, it's anxiety." So, okay, as they do. And I just carried on with life. And then fast forward to becoming mum. In the early days, it was everything was just put down to being prem for Thea. Like, oh, she didn't clap until she was 18 months. So I'm like, oh, it's just because she was prem. And everyone else said it as well. And obviously COVID, you're not around anyone. Yeah, it wasn't until, like, obviously she didn't, milestones were all very late. But it wasn't until the thing that I noticed with her was, so she had loads of toys that made noise. And all of a sudden she just stopped playing with them. Like, she would cry. She couldn't play with them. Like,
Okay.
what is going on? Like, we've got all this house full of toys that make noise. She had no toys to play with. So batteries on everything. And then we'd leave it a little while, and then like weeks later I'd try again. I still couldn't handle it. And then she started doing more autistic traits than prem traits, I suppose. Like, so she'd run around for ages in circles, and we were like, I remember the first time it was like 15 minutes solid, and we were like, blimey, is she going to stop? We laughed about it back then. We didn't have a clue. And obviously the older she got, we were a bit like, oh, okay, something's not right here. I remember texting my dad saying, he texted one day like, how are you? And I was like, yeah, we're okay, but I think Thea might be autistic. And I don't even know where I got it from. I just knew, I'm in a childcare background, so I kind of knew of autism, but of more high need autism than Thea, because not as high need, like she's verbal and stuff.
Did you know that the NICU space is more than just this podcast? We also run an online community created specifically for NICU parents, whether your baby is currently in neonatal care or your NICU experience happened months or even years ago. Inside the community, you'll find specialist guidance from professionals who understand NICU, resources and coping tools to help with the emotional impact, and most importantly, connection with other parents who really get it. For many parents, it becomes a place where they can finally talk about their NICU experience with people who understand without needing an explanation. If this sounds like something that would support you, you can find out more information in the show notes. Let's get back to the episode.
She then started nursery, and I mentioned my concerns to them, and they instantly were like, yeah, we see it too. So I was like, okay. There was a day that needed to be the same, the meltdowns that come because she's obviously overwhelmed. So no, we got the ball in and then got her referred. But we ended up going private for her diagnosis because I couldn't, the unknown. I couldn't wait that long. It was years. It would have been like 3. She probably still wouldn't even been diagnosed now, like 5.
Yeah.
So yeah. She got diagnosed with autism. But then when I look back at her notes as well, it did say, obviously I didn't know about me still then. It did say at the bottom of her notes then, like high risk for neurodivergent, like something along those lines. Like, and I was like, oh, okay. I never actually read them. I did take it in. I never remembered that part. So yeah, that's how we found out about her.
Okay. How did it feel getting that diagnosis or like coming to that realization about her?
Scary because you don't know what your life holds. I think I was just still grateful that she made it anyway. Like whatever the outcome was, I was still like, she survived and she's here. We'll deal with it together. And yeah, I don't. It is what it is, I think, for us. And I've never. Obviously, I get my days where I'm like, oh, why us?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Why? I'm now going through the same thing with Hugo. He has an assessment on Monday as well, so there's 3 of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then
all right. And was he born after Thea?
Yeah, he's.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, where do you fit into all of this? Where you're thinking about yourself came in?
Okay, so obviously I did a lot of research. Like I would spend hours of the night on the internet, YouTube and everything. Me and Sam used to just watch YouTube videos about all sorts of traits like stimming, everything, and just educating ourselves. And then it slowly was like, oh, okay, this sounds really familiar. I was like, this is ringing alarm bells. And then more and more adults started to say it as well online, I think, like, and it kind of, I was just like, oh yeah, this is my life. Like I've always struggled socialising, just kind of got on with it. I remember my dad used to say to me, go and make friends, and I used to be like, well, where am I going to buy them from? Like, they don't just appear. It's hard to make friends. Like school wasn't great, and I've just struggled my whole life until now, really. And yeah, so I did the same. I went to my doctor, had my concerns, and then I went down the right to truth pathway. So I didn't have to wait too long, really. I had my ADHD assessment first. It was about 4 or 5 months between. I thought more ADHD than autism, really, for myself, like because I overthink everything. I could go on with a list of how my world is. And then they said yes to ADHD, intensive ADHD, and then had my autism one. That came as a shock for me, I think.
Okay.
More than, because I so focused on thinking I had ADHD. When they said yes to autism, I was like, oh wow. Okay, I have both.
Okay. Yeah. So what's that like having both? Because it's again often that like push pull, isn't it, between like maybe one side of you wanting something and another side of you wanting something else. Like how does that fit for you having both?
It's hard, I'm not gonna lie. Like I find it's all new to me as well because it's like near the end of last year that I got the diagnosis. So I did like, and you don't get any support really. Like there's here you go, here's your diagnosis, goodbye. And a leaflet because it was done online. With Theo, you get sent loads of leaflets and stuff. Yeah, I struggle a lot, like, I get overwhelmed with, like, so when Thea's in a meltdown, the noise, I've really got to learn.
Yeah.
Just put her first. Even though we're both obviously
Okay.
struggling, like, I'm her mum and it's about her really, isn't it, at the end of the day, not me. I have to just put the brave face on. Yeah, I do struggle a lot with noise. I'm lucky, like, my husband understands a lot, and sometimes if he's at home and he's not at work, I'm like, I can't, I need 5 minutes, I'm going upstairs, or he
Yeah.
calms her down a lot better than me. Like, he knows how to deal with her better. Yeah, and then some days are good. I'm like, oh, we've done today, we've got through it, no one's cried, we're all good. And then other days,
Yeah. Celebrate the little wins.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Completely. So, I mean, there might be people who are sitting here listening and kind of going, well, I've questioned this myself. I don't know whether that's kind of part of the picture for me. How did you kind of figure out what parts of it felt like they were becoming a mum, being neurodivergent, maybe the trauma that you'd gone through? How did you figure that out?
I haven't. I'm just winging it. Like, literally.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good to know.
Like,
Yeah,
some days I question, oh gosh, like, what is this? Like, obviously we've gone through the prematurity stage of things now, and
yeah,
she is 6 this year, so
yeah,
she's at where she should be. Like, so that makes life, like, I don't know. I think the autism that appeared made me forget about prematurity. Like, I just pushed that to a
yeah.
side. Makes sense. So that it's only recently that I thought, oh, my page is actually about that too, and I should start to talk about it more. And that's why, like, I said absolutely to this, because I want to talk more about it, because
Mm,
9 times out of 10 your journey, when, like, it's up there with, I suppose, in the odds of when you have a premature baby, that things can go differently.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I just wing it. Just literally wing it.
yeah, completely. And I think it's really hard for people to unpick. And I think having that, it sounds like you did quite a lot of kind of self research, kind of like looking around, like probably quite a lot of social media in terms of like looking at different things. Yeah.
I think it would have been a completely different outlook for me if I didn't have social media. Like, it's really helped.
Okay.
There's, like I said, I don't have a massive circle of friends. I don't, especially not
Mm,
neurodivergent ones either. Like, it's
okay.
like, it's family really.
Yeah.
The amount of people I've made friends with online and talk to daily, and, like, are there. I can voice note, like, I WhatsApp them, like, they are there, like,
Yeah.
and everyone slates social media, but actually, if you're on it for the right reasons, you've got your village, like, and you might not
Yeah.
even have met them.
Agree.
It's so weird, and I'm lucky. I've
Mm,
managed to meet up with a few people that I speak to online, and it's you just click because you live the same life,
yeah.
and they get it. And
100%. Yeah. Completely. Do you find that there's something that feels comfortable about being on social media, like being able to be unmasked
yeah,
or authentic
exactly that.
or
Exactly.
yeah,
I can talk to,
yeah,
if I can WhatsApp, I can do a voice note or send a message, and if I panic that it's wrong, I'm gonna just delete it and do it again like another
yeah,
10 times until I feel like it's right. And yeah,
yeah,
and
completely.
yeah, you can just be who you are on there.
Yeah, completely. No, I agree with you with that. So we've got the kind of overlaps which felt like it was tricky. Is there anything that you feel like you've discovered about yourself throughout this process that's felt like a strength, like a positive that has helped you within kind of motherhood from kind of learning all of this about yourself in any way?
I think in regards to, if, like, even if Hugo is or isn't, I
Yeah,
understand their world, and I know
yeah,
exactly how it can be triggering for them. So someone can walk past a siren of a police car and not bat an eyelid, but I know instantly that their chest is probably pounding and Thea's
yeah.
covering her ears and ready to run. Or if
Okay.
something's not quite right in her play, like, or if it's, she, for instance, she gets very frustrated if she's drawing and it doesn't go her way. And I know how that feels for her. I know it has to be right. And it probably won't be right for another 10, 20 times. But I know I have to be patient and give them time to find their little way and help them. Because I don't want them growing up in any way being anxious or panicking like how I did growing up and uncomfortable around people. And I just want them to be able to be themselves. And I'm grateful that the world is now talking about it a lot more, because Thea, like she does it, we go to the park and she'll see, it's like she's got an autism doll, like she knows a child who's autistic, and like she'll go up to the mums and say, are they autistic? And oh gosh, you can't keep doing that.
Brilliant.
You go, like the other day, bless him, I said to him, are you autistic? And he went, no, Thea is. You just went free, like, but I'm glad, because they know I don't have to like wait until they're 10 and break to them that they're autistic. Like, they're going to grow up knowing no different, and I'm happy.
How did you have that as a conversation with her?
So we go to a group, I love it, called Casper. So it's an autism charity around here. Like, it's not just to our area, but it will go, like, anyone can join. Their youngest members are like from tots up until like 53. Like, it's amazing.
Okay.
And we were on a residential trip, so we went to the caravan with them last year, and there was something like 30 families that had gone. So, and she knew that of autism, but I took a book with me and I read about being autistic to her and said to her, like, you're autistic too, like, and it's okay, because there are lots of other people. And at the time, obviously, we was away with everyone, so it kind of felt like the right time. But as soon as I got diagnosed, she was like the first person I told. I was like, Mummy's autistic too. I was like, you're the same. So yeah.
How does that then feel, having that like in common, like being able to kind of talk about both having maybe some of the similar struggles, strengths, like all of that kind of thing? How does that feel?
I love it, because I can say to her, like, I know how you're feeling, and if I feel overwhelmed, I can say to her, look, Mummy's feeling overwhelmed, or Daddy can say it, like, Mummy needs 5 minutes because she just needs space and needs to go to a safe space and is feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah,
it kind of works
completely.
It's good.
Yeah, totally. And I think if you've got that kind of, narrative between you of being like, this is just how our brains work, like sometimes the noises feel too loud, or like the emotions feel too big, or whatever it is, like we just need a little bit of space, a little bit of time to kind of calm down, or what else, what other things that you need. Like, so let's talk a little bit about that in terms of things like being able to help her with maybe those frustrations or that overwhelm, or like things not feeling right, all of those kind of things. What kind of things have you done to be able to support her with that?
So she moves a lot. So I'm pretty convinced that she's got ADHD too, but she's too young to be diagnosed. She doesn't stop moving. She loves to spin. Like, that's always been her thing. She spins. So we've got like lots of, like, we have a spinny chair, trapeze bar. Like, she climbs. Sam knows when she needs to get it out, so she just climbs him, and he just lets her do it and helps her. And and also, like, I've done lots of, like, so we've got lots of charts where she can follow it to, like, not meditate, but like breathe in and out, and like help her to calm down like that. Lots of weighted teddies, lots of weighted blankets. She loves a bath, so if I like say to her, do you want a bath? Like, go get some water and relax, and she loves that.
Yeah.
So, but that's exactly what we're both exactly like that. If I say to Sam, I'm getting in the bath.
Yeah. Okay, so you find that water calming as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And has it helped you then figure out like what your needs are and being able to meet them as well?
Kind of. I'm still trying to work out how to not be so fiery myself, because obviously if they're, like I said, like the noise and stuff as well, if they're in the middle of lockdown, or if they're being kids and loud, I just have to accept it. But I don't know, I bought myself some loops. I still managed to put them in, actually, to try and see if that can help. I'm still trying to find that out.
Yeah, no, fine. And I think it is a process, isn't it? It's kind of like, and maybe, I mean, it's part of it, isn't it? Of like maybe knowing the things that you need to do, but then finding it hard to implement those
Yeah.
things, of being like, I bought the loops, but I've lost the loops. So I don't know where they are. But like, so it might be that you know it, but being able to implement it is something else, isn't it?
I used to clean, like constantly clean, to make myself feel better.
Okay.
But oh my God, if you could see my house right now.
Hey, I'm with you.
When I see your story the other day in the kitchen, I was like, yes, that is me.
I know. Georgie messaged me and she was like, when are you getting your diagnosis? I was like, I know it's a little bit overwhelming. Oh, I know it's hard, but it's hard to kind of keep on top of when you've got the parenting stuff. And I think that's, it's like that part of the person that you were before maybe use like the cleaning and the organization and stuff like that as a coping mechanism, but then you add a kid too onto the top of it and it just falls apart. Like it just feels like you can't do that anymore. You've lost the ability to be able to operate in that same way.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's tricky. So just thinking about kind of coming to the end. So if we've got parents who are listening now and they're maybe in that questioning stage about their kid, about themselves, what would you say to those parents?
That it's okay to question and feel how like you're feeling, because at the end of the day, you're the only one that knows your child fully. Reach out if you're ready, because and if it isn't even to family, you don't have to reach out to family or professionals. I mean, my DMs are always open. Like, I'll happily, because I've been there and it's scary and it's lonely. But I think once you find your people, like I said, like with us, with Caspar, we're surrounded by hundreds of families that live the same life. Like, there's people that I talk to with like 15-year-olds or 10-year-olds when my children are only 5 and they've been there. I think find your people, and it's not always doom and gloom. There is really bright days too, and it's scary, but also lovely at the same time, because you see them in a different way. Like it's just lovely. They're wonderful still. They're still your babies, and no matter what it is, it will all be okay.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that there can feel like there is such a fear or worry around it for people. So I think hearing that side of it is really important too.
The battles of getting the diagnosis and all the fighting of all the paperwork and the appointments, that's what drains you.
Yeah, completely. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. I know it doesn't feel like, it was a nerve-wracking thing to do, but I'm really, really glad that you came on and you talked to us, because I feel like a load of people are going to find this a really helpful episode. So we'll put all of your information below in the show notes so that people can go and follow you and connect with you.
Yeah, I'm always happy to help.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the NICU Space podcast by Miracle Moon. If this episode resonated with you, please know that support is available and you are always welcome in our community. If you found this episode helpful, one of the best ways to support the podcast is by sharing it, leaving a rating, or subscribing. It helps these conversations reach more NICU parents who really need them. You can also find us on Instagram and across social media at Miracle Moon UK, or explore more resources at miraclemoon.co.uk. Wherever you are in your NICU story, please remember this: you are not alone.